All right, and welcome to Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B's NFL Roundtable Talks. I do not own the rights to this music.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Biting by Jeremy Smokin.
Well, you heard it. Charles Harris, linebacker of the Detroit Lions, told you, come on out and check out Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. Got a couple of comments already. Gun Guy from YouTube says, Yoda. Facebook user says, let's go. And Go Lions says, what up, Doe? Welcome in, everybody. It's going to be a fun show. This is my NFL talk where we talk about NFL news, where I bring in fans from other teams. I have Devin Smith with me. And, of course, we got replace the effing field Mara, you cheap bitch. That being said, currently sitting at 153 subscribers. Subscribe, like, and share, trying to push for that 1,000. And today's show is also sponsored by FTP Wednesday. Not for giving flowers. Don't forget to F the Packers. That being said, Baker Mayfield has been named the starter for the Panthers. I'm quite sure after watching Sam Darnold last year, that makes Devin Smith a little happy.
Yep, sure does. I'm excited, actually, to see what he can do for us.
I think he might be decent. All right. Richard Head says, how's it going? Joseph Murdoch says, what up, folks? How about that Hard Knocks? That was great, and we'll touch a little bit on that towards the end. And Facebook user says, F them Packers. Gotta love it when my fans get involved. Dan, what do you think about Baker Mayfield being named the starters?
That he should have been a Lion, but that's beside the point. He's definitely the best.
Oh, stop.
It would have been perfect.
And Crazy Ken Ballrick, my dad, comes in and says, what's up, guys? Good to see you, Dad. I'm going to save the other one for when our Steelers fan shows up. So let's talk about my specially added subject. The Field of Knees, also known as the Meadowlands. 33, now 34 victims just due to the field, non-contact injuries with lower leg injuries, both left and right side, about a 60% split. They've also had another 8 in practice situations, which 2 of those were on that field as well, which was also at a 60-40 split between left and right legs. That's atrocious over a 3-year time span. What do you think about that, Dan? Mr. Leonard?
Hold on 1 minute, man.
All right.
I'm having an issue with my connection real quick. I got to change this up.
Okay. Devin Smith, what do you think about that? The Field of Knees, known as the Meadowlands.
First of all, oh man,
I think it's the scariest place to play in the NFL.
No. The Washington Commanders is the worst field to play, and it's the Field of Knees.
And the Facebook user is Crusher Chris Bolin. I'm glad to see you in. Richard Head, Baker Mayfield is going to be the starter come week 1.
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's already been announced. Charles McLean says, hello, JB. Big Dan Davis comes in, says, F those Packers. When Danica told Aaron Rodgers she wanted to try doggy style, Rodgers turned around and bent over. I'm not a fan of the Field of Terror. Nor am I. How are we doing, Lions fans? My girl is a Steelers fan, and my dumb butt bought her a Watt jersey last year. Uh-oh. Sounds like trouble in paradise there, cousin. That's my cousin Mike Clammer. The Meadowlands field is scarier than the teams that play there. I agree.
Yeah, agree too.
Charles McLean,
Watch it, Richard Head.
I'm not sure how true the NFL Network personality, but McCourty stated this morning that Kenny Pickett could be named the starter after this Sunday's game. If he is, he is. I'm trying to save that subject for when our Steelers fan shows up, who seems to be running late. And Deuce Staley, running backs coach of the NFL, says, I will pull the best out of Swift. God bless you. I hope so. Facebook user, hi, Smokin Jeremy. How's it going? That sounds exactly like Joseph Host out of Lansing. And I'm doing just fantastic. I'm talking football. I got a couple guests now and a few more lined up to cop in. The next topic I want to talk about is Jacony Griffen, a cornerback of the Seahawks, retired from the NFL today. I don't know if it's injury related, that wasn't stated or anything, or did he look at this roster and the QBs and said, F this team?
I think you look at the QBs.
Probably all of it.
This team.
Okay, Dan, what do you think about the field of knees that is known as the Meadowlands?
It is MetLife Stadium. The Meadowlands was hell of the ground that the bastards took away from us.
Oh, okay.
It's different. And since the day it was built, I've said that place is a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst stadium in the world. I'd rather play in the park than in that stadium.
It might take out less knees.
Exactly.
And Steve Bauer of Flint hops in and says, how's it going, JB? I'm doing fantastic. Big Dan Davis said, Mara needs to replace that field. First, Thibodeau gets taken out. Then that field claimed the season of Darien Beavers. That field definitely needs repaired or replaced.
The field needs replaced, but that's not what took out Thibodeau. Scumbag Thaddeus Moss in that cut block in preseason is what took him out.
Well,
I don't care what anybody says. You don't need to play like an asshole in preseason. You could never go for dude's knees in preseason. That's a bitch move is what it is.
well, Tim Boyle comes in and says, hey, Deuce, I hope you get the best out of my dude Swift. I hope you're not on the roster. Gun guy, is it turf? It's that grassy turf, isn't it there?
Yes.
Dan, that stuff that looks just like grass?
Yep.
Michael Clamert says he must have said F this team. I'm talking about Jacony Griffen.
I believe it. And realistically, he wasn't that good of a player. He was just a feel-good story.
He actually wasn't horrible, but wasn't good at coverage. But what he was great at, when I go back and look at his stats, was tackling and setting the edge in the run game. He helped them out a lot. All right. Richard Head wants to join us.
Oh, it was a legal block, Charles. I agree with that. But it's a bitch move to go for the knees in preseason.
Cedric Boswell says, hey, Jeremy, I will not give up a touchdown this week.
Wise. play on this field. Yes.
That is set, Richard. And yes, Jacony Griffen is the dude with the one good arm.
Yeah.
And Gun Guy asks, do we play on this field? Unfortunately, in a 3-week span, we play on it twice. First, we play the Giants, then we go back and play the Jets. I'm scared shitless.
Should be. The Giants can whoop that ass.
That's not what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of that field taking people's knees out.
Just sit the starters and take the L, honestly.
I was thinking we might want to just activate the whole practice squad and protect everybody on it. Neither will Hutchinson. Brian Roy says, Max's, it's AstroTurf, as they used to say.
We're too lazy to hire a ground crew, as I say.
Yeah, evidently, Goff is not playing because Dan Campbell says he doesn't care how much he begs, he ain't getting in.
Campbell a punk. Let him play.
Sweet new Lions hat. I want it. And Gun Guy says, damn. Yeah, that's what I said when I saw the schedule. I was like, man, the team scare me less than the field does. And that's no offense to the Giants or Jets. Cedric Boswell, you will be in the next round of cuts, LOL. Brian says sorry. Yeah, I picked up this Lions hat when I went to Fun Fest. There was a place down there right by Comerica Park called Game Day Apparel. I couldn't pass it up when it was on clearance for $20. I thought it was pretty sweet. That being said, it's time to talk about my sponsors. Oh, here he is. And Richard Head pops in. How you doing, Richard?
I am doing excellent. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. So let's go over what I talked about. Baker Mayfield was named the starter already prior to week 3 of the preseason. Let me get back to my banners here. The Field of Knees, a.k.a. the Meadowlands. I still say that field scares me more than either team.
I will say this. The Giants, I think, are going to be a lot better team than people realize. I don't think they'll win the East, but I think they could be the second-place team in that division.
It's a possibility. It depends on if they stay healthy or not, and that field doesn't help them.
No, but you look at the Cowboys, I think they're going to be in a free fall this year. You look at the penalties they've had just in this preseason.
Most penalized team in the NFL.
Hey, Michael Irvin says they're going undefeated.
Yeah. Michael Irvin has said that every year since Dak got the bag 3 years ago.
Isn't Michael Irvin still part of the Cocaine Cowboys?
Yes.
I really wish he would have went to any other team but the Cowboys because I loved him at the U.
Tim Boyle to start Sunday, I seen, and Blau gets to play against the fourth stringers and practice squad players. Then Lions fan will call for Blau to start. Well, that's why they're calling for Boyle to start, because that's all he's played against this entire offseason. Facebook user says, don't get HBO. How was Hard Knocks last night? Hard Knocks was amazing.
It
Mike
was really
Valenti
good.
says the Lions won't win 3 games. Mike Valenti, go back to 97, won the ticket, and keep ruining that station.
Who's Mike Valenti?
The Valenti Show on 97 won the ticket out of Detroit. He's a Lions hater.
No, I know. I
He's
was just being a jerk.
Oh, okay. On a dying media station that's slowly losing more subscribers every day.
I used to like the Valenti show up until I think it was Mike Sullivan left the show.
Yeah, because Sully used to kind of keep him in check.
No, that Meadowland field though, it is notorious for injuries, and I am worried about
someone else. Hey, a Facebook user, we know it's someone else using his name, but it's fun just to talk trash to him. So, Devin Smith, what do you think about that field that they got up there in East Rutherford, New Jersey?
Honestly, I really don't even care for the field, to be honest. As long as my players don't get hurt.
The stadium looks beautiful.
Yeah.
The field is just atrocious.
Yeah.
And it's designed bad. There's a drainage problem. There's a wind problem.
There's a lot of problems with it.
Hey, did you notice that the Lions haven't been receiving as many penalties so far this year? Brian, believe it or not, the Lions are the least penalized team in the NFL this preseason. They've had 3 penalties called against them. Charles McLean says, I'm sending my resume to Mrs. Illich for an interview for the GM job. Hey, I can't be any worse than Avila. And DC80901 says, howdy, and he's available if needed. You know what? DC, I'll let you in. I'll send you the link right now.
8091 DC.
Yep. On its way, sir.
I also seen Darius Slay. I think he had a hamstring injury today trying to guard Tyreek Hill.
And I heard that Miami was actually eating up the Philly offense versus defense.
Really?
Yep. That was a report I saw in the 7-on-7 and in the 11-on-11s.
So that's surprising because you see a lot of the mainstream outlets are just sitting there saying Philly's going to be a Super Bowl contender. And I'll say they're going to be a good team, but
no, the Steelers fan is not on the show, but the show must go on. So I'm going to bring up the topic.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up your underwear.
A QB decision for Tomlin in Pittsburgh. All 3 quarterbacks has done well. Pickett has stood out, but yet he's always played against second and third stringers. If they start him this week versus the ones and he still puts up that kind of stuff, then I might say he's worth giving a shot. But with that O-line, it scares the crap out of me. If I was a coach, I would not put a commodity like a rookie quarterback out there. I'd put out that cheap bet. That's
why they got Mitchell Trubisky.
Exactly.
He's used to playing behind O-lines like that. He's right at home.
But Pickett's more mobile than freaking Trubisky, so they give you that. Plus, you know what? There's no probably not going to be much better offensive line next year, so YOLO, toss him in there and see what he can get.
All right, and welcome in DC80901. He is a Baltimore-based Lions fan.
Howdy.
Howdy. Okay, so I'll go over what I was talking about. Baker Mayfield was named the starter week 1, as I thought he should be.
Yep. He was going to start when they traded for him.
Right. That being said,
I don't even think Sam Darnold thought he was going to win that job.
Shaquem Griffen retired from the Seahawks. I asked the question, did that cornerback look at that roster and their QBs and said, F this team, or was it an injury-based retirement?
Probably
and I didn't see it.
A, little column B.
I'm going with a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And Charles McLean and Big Dan Davis, you both messaged it at the same time on 2 different channels, so I'm going to say it at the same time without posting it. Trey Flowers was brought into Miami for a workout today. And my dad says, looks like Trace Atkins to me. I think that's a compliment to you there, DC.
Sweet.
You know what? Flowers is going to go down. He's signed with Miami, and he's going to be good. It's players that come into Detroit for some reason are bad, and they go other places and are great, especially former Patriots.
I don't know. Kenny Galladay has been pretty bad.
He wasn't a former Patriot. Fuck Kenny Galladay. Fuck that guy. Why can't he get injured? We cut him out on an injury settlement. God damn.
I thought he was going to be the guy there. I was surprised at how he's been at New York. I thought he was going to do a lot better, in all fairness.
Well, on a side note, the ball had said that the past week and a half in practice, something clicked in him and he's performing. But until he can play more than freaking 2 games and catch a touchdown, fuck that guy. I'd rather have Andrew Thomas catching passes. At least he gets touchdowns.
Oof.
We've had
You know
worse.
the same way about Kadarius Toney, too, though, so don't worry.
Nemo Cramshaw says, "What's up?" He's a Ravens fan that likes to watch my show. That being said, I'm going to say this now. Lamar Jackson is a top 10 athlete, and as long as he's able to use his legs effectively, he'll be decent, and they'll have a decent record. But until they put legitimate wide receiver weapons around him, I don't see him improving much as a QB.
Even when they gave him wide receivers, he didn't want to throw to him.
That's not true.
That's all he needs. Mark Andrews and his feet. He'll be good.
My cousin says I would be a better QB than Trubisky. No, I wouldn't. I've seen him throw.
Jackson's ran too much. You're looking at a running back lifespan on a quarterback who doesn't like to pass and can't. Why extend him for a 15-year contract that he wants? He's going to be dead. He's going to be out of the league if he can't learn to be a drop back passer and be accurate at one pretty damn quick. And it's not happening.
I will say, in all fairness to Trubisky, I mean, the Bears aren't exactly ever known for their offensive firepower. I mean, you look at that team he was on; it was pretty bad.
Hey, you want to know what's funny is he still has, as bad as he was, and as bad as the Bears was, apples to apples for the same amount of years, he had a better win record than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun just put up better stats.
Yep. Ravens got the best tight ends room in the league.
Damn close.
It is close. They're top 3.
Top 3 at least.
Only because you smoke, LOL. No, because I was never a quarterback. I was better off on defense.
Okay, let's see. Let's figure out the other top 3 here. Who do the 49ers have behind Kittle?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Maybe the Raiders because they got Darren Waller and Fabian Moreau, who's actually very underrated.
Yep, I like that combination there.
I don't know.
That's a damn good question.
The Bills don't have a good number 2. The Lions don't have a great number 2.
It depends with the Lions. If they use him more as a receiving tight end, he might be all right. But I'm not holding my breath,
They won't be until mid-season once Mitchell gets rolling, Funches gets healthy if he stays.
Who do the Dolphins have behind Jacony? Does anybody know?
No.
Bag of chips and a fountain pop.
What about Philly? What does Philly have behind Ertz?
Ertz is gone.
Oh, shit. Who did they get? Wait, Ertz is gone? When did that happen?
Ertz went to Cardinals last year.
Yeah.
Oh, who's the guy that they replaced Ertz with?
Dallas Goedert.
Goddard. Yeah, that's his name. The guy who came out with bubble wrap on his helmet.
Yep. F the Dolphins.
Agreed.
Ravens got Andrews, Boyles, who's the best blocking tight end, and likely the rookie who looks just as good like Andrews.
Yeah,
And
Boyles
Philly does have Goddard. There's a couple of good ones for the Bills, too, because they signed as a backup O.J. Howard to Dawson Knox. I always say Dustin for some reason.
What about the Raiders? Who do they have behind Waller?
Fabian Monroe.
Yep, Fabian Monroe.
And he's damn good. He'd probably start on most other teams.
Give it to Carolina.
But there really isn't. Yeah, who do you got in Carolina there, Devin? He chuckled.
Toby Trimble. He got better tight end.
Yeah, tight end.
Oh, no, a better tight end is. I haven't really checked the roster yet. To be honest.
Gotcha.
Eric Ebron.
No, he's still like TE3 for the Steelers right now.
You just signed a tight end.
I always joke that he wasn't going to get on the COVID list because he couldn't catch it.
That's a good one.
That's great. That's great.
And to think he was a top 10 pick.
Yep.
I know it's early, but I say Buffalo and Tampa in the Super Bowl. You may not be wrong. And Patriots have two good ones. Can't remember their names. That being said, it is time to pay the bills. Dan Leonard, go ahead and tell them about Mad Lab Custom Creations. Dan?
Hello.
Oh, he's got his mic muted, so I'll go to the other one. A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you in the Tri-City area. There is the one on Old Calcallan Road in Calcallan. There is the one on Genesee Street in Saginaw, and the one where I work, Broadway, right here in Bay City. Great used tires and good new tires at a great price. All right, Dan, you ready to do yours?
Yep. Come check
There
us
we
out.
go.
Come check us out, Mad Lab Custom Creations on Facebook for all your mini helmet needs. Everything is customized specialty. We run brakes, we run lines, anything you want, any team we can get for you. Come check it out. I dropped a link in the comments for everybody.
Fantastic. All
And
right.
Making me want to shit my pants. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's working on a Tom Brady right now that's worth a lot of money.
Not gonna lie, man. It's the only time I've ever been afraid to touch a helmet.
Oh, look at this.
What we got?
There he is. It's Mike Crabtree, the Ravens god. What's up, Crabtree?
Crabtree the Savage. Love it.
I just got
Hey,
I done.
there you go.
How y'all doing?
So we covered a few things, but we're getting ready to start talking about our next subject here. It has to do with the 49ers. Jason Verett to the PUP list for the 49ers due to a leg injury. Didn't he start the year off last year with an ACL injury?
Yes.
He's been injured so much in his career, it's not funny.
Yeah, he's the D4 to cornerbacks.
Correct.
Oh, well.
Top 100.
And then in Panthers news, Matt Corral to the IR, ending his season for Carolina. That's kind of a blow in his development.
Yeah.
And I did. Somebody asked if Pickett was NFL ready. I said coming out of the draft, and Dan Leonard knows I said it, that Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral were the 2 most NFL ready quarterbacks in this draft.
The only knock on Matt Corral, the only reason he went so far down is because he's an alcoholic.
And he had an injury he was recovering from.
Yeah.
But yeah, he broke what? It was he had a limb struggle. He broke his neck. Basically.
I think it's going to be Donald or Cup that gets the #1 billing, but I'm going to go with Aaron Donald.
Yeah. All I know is St. Brown will remember every receiver that's listed in front of him.
Yeah, he's already listed them 2 years in a row. He will never forget all 16 wide receivers that went in front of him.
No, he'll remember every receiver in the top 100 players that are in front of him as well.
Well, that's every wide receiver in there because he didn't make the top 100.
Exactly.
The only one I did, I think, is T.J. Hawkinson and Ragnow.
That's some bullshit.
The Ragnow one not making it as an insult. He's arguably the best center in the NFL.
No. I'm saying he's the only one that did with Hawkinson.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, they did give Eddie Lyons players Eddie Love, but I think Ahmad Ra should have been there because if they put Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle in there, and his numbers were pretty comparable to what they had.
Yep.
That's just the thing with Detroit, though. They'll never get that mainstream recognition until the team actually starts winning.
But guess what quarterback cracked the top 100 for the first time in his career? It took him 13 seasons to do it. Matt Stafford.
Weird, too. He goes to a big market, all of a sudden he's
loved. Yeah.
Yeah,
He gets tendonitis, and, there he is.
And I'm going to say it again. Matt Stafford had 3 plays, 1 in the NFC Championship and 2 in the Super Bowl, that if those guys didn't have bricks for hands, they wouldn't have either been in the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl.
Yep. Exactly.
Eli Apple with a choke artist.
Yep, seriously.
Hey, leave Toast alone.
You broke up there, Dan.
I said, leave Toast alone.
Yeah, I know. Eli Apple, a.k.a. the second coming of him, is Will Harris. But anyways.
Isn't Will Harris older than him?
No, Eli Apple's been in the league longer.
I know. We drafted him and cut his ass.
Right. And some news that I got from our boy Dan Leonard, the Giants guy. Wide receiver Colin Johnson suffered a torn Achilles at Giants practice today.
Jesus. They practice on the game field?
That's what I said, too.
The practice field is just as bad. It's the same grassy shit with the same drainage problem. The bad design.
I know New Jersey's a shithole, but they're the richest teams in the world. They have to afford good shit. How the hell does this happen?
See, they're masterminds. They got it all planned out. They just get their team so used to being injured so that when they actually have to play on it, they're used to it.
That didn't work for us. We have good field.
I can explain that stadium very well. That stadium is a giant clusterfuck because it was supposed to be the biggest stadium and the biggest mall in the world. They had it set up for a company from China to come in and do all the work, and it would have been a fraction of the cost to Xanadu. The union in Jersey threw a huge fit about it, threatened lawsuits, and we ended up with this piece of shit.
Yep.
What do you expect in Jersey? Of course the union's going to flip out.
All right, and now we're to the fun part of the show, guys. It is the way too early division winner predictions. We're going to start with Dan Leonard's division, the NFC East. Who do you got winning the division this year, Dan?
Eagles.
Devin?
It's the Cowboys and all the Eagles.
Okay. Richard?
I'm taking the Eagles.
DC?
I'm going to go wild card and say Redskins.
Wow.
Can you pass me some of the drugs you're smoking?
Crabtree, what do you think in the East?
I got Dallas or Washington.
Dallas or Washington? Wow.
I think Dallas more because they're more ready for it, but I see Washington as a dark horse in the East, to be honest with you. As much as I hate them, I see them as a dark horse.
I see the Eagles.
See, I would take the Cowboys, but my problem with the Cowboys is on paper they are right there with Philly on talent.
Yeah.
The only problem is they have Mike McCarthy still as a head coach, and they can't seem to lock up that division, even when it's handed to them on a silver platter.
And it's never going to be Washington. Chase Young's out on the freaking pup list again.
And my dad agrees with me.
Take that back. I didn't hear that.
He's going with the Eagles. Yeah, Chase Young's on the pup list and going to miss the first 4 weeks of the season.
I didn't hear that. So, yeah, I kind of take that back.
Michael Clammert says I'm smoking the same shit, LOL, as DC.
It's a cigar. I mean, I have drug tests coming up. This is just a cigar, dude.
Charles McLean says Eagles, and Gun Guy goes Lions. We haven't got to that division yet. Next is the AFC East, and if I don't know, I'll go first. I'm going to say Bills. Crabtree.
Bills.
DC.
Probably Bills, but never bet against Belichick.
Well, he
Just
didn't
don't.
do it against them last year, so.
Yep.
Richard, who do you got in the AFC East?
The Jets. No, I'm just kidding.
The Bills. All right, Dan Leonard.
Hey, this guy must be a cool conversation.
Wow. Fucking Jets. Okay.
That was the best joke I heard today.
It's either going to be the Bills or the Dolphins. I can see the Dolphins being a surprise team there.
See, the Dolphins. Oh, go right ahead.
I was going to say the Dolphins have all the pieces around Tua for them to be successful. It's up to Tua to get out of his own head. Crazy Ken agrees and says Bills. Devin, what do you think? Bills. Charles McLean says Bills by 1 game over the Pats. I said that would be quite an improvement by the Pats then. That being said, now we're to the NFC South. Your division. Start us off, Devin. Who do you got winning it?
I hate to say this, but oh my gosh, I hate this, but I'm gonna say anyway. Tampa.
Yep. Dan? Tampa? Richard?
I'm going to throw a wild card out there and say Saints.
Woo!
Yeah, okay.
DC 8091.
Back, right?
Don't bet against Brady. Tampa.
Yep.
Last I checked, Brady wasn't still practicing, wasn't he?
He's back this week.
Okay, he's back this week.
He's
I'm
back.
still taking the
Actually
Saints.
have a chance. Brady's offensive line is in shambles right now.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, Crabtree, who you got in the South?
Buccaneers easily. Can't
Yeah.
go Tom Brady.
And that's where I'm at, the Bucks. AFC South. You know, you got the Colts, the Titans, the Texans, and Jags. I'm going to start at the bottom with Crabtree.
Colts.
Colts? DC?
Toss up between Colts and Titans. Maybe leaning towards the Titans, but I guess I'll take the Titans just to mix it up.
All right. Richard?
Everyone's picking the Titans or the Colts. I'm gonna have to go with Titans. If Derrick Henry stays healthy, they should win that division.
That's a wild card.
Easily.
Yep. Okay, Dan?
Titans.
Devin?
When I got the Derrick Henry, Titans.
Well, considering last year they had a less stable quarterback and they missed them by 1 game, if they'd have won the game versus the Jags, they'd have won the division over the Titans. I'm going Colts.
You don't believe Trevor Lawrence win the division?
Ballsy.
Bad, just find it fact.
Crazy Ken says Titans. Facebook user says Titans. Charles McLean says Titans. Brian Roy agrees with me. He says Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
Now we're to the West.
Which one?
NFC West. Devin, take it off. Who do you got one in the NFC West? You got Rams, Niners, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
Rams. Rams.
Yep.
Yeah, Rams. Rams. I'm taking. Yeah, the Rams.
Dan?
What?
NFC West.
49ers.
Crabtree?
The Cardinals.
with the Kingsbury collapse. DC 8091.
Gotta go Rams.
I got.
Jared Donaldson. Gotta go Rams.
Why did you pick the Cardinals?
I was just joking. I was joking because Cody Cards is watching this.
Oh,
It's a
gotcha.
I got Niners in this.
You got the Niners, okay. Willis is QB3 there, so he ain't starting. It's Tannehill. But that I agree. Don't care if Willis starts and plays lights out. We got Hutch all around pick. Crazy Ken says Rams. Brian Roy says LA. Richard, who you got?
Well, Stafford's still playing, so I got to go with the Rams. But if he goes out, I'd have to say probably Cardinals at that point. But right now, Rams.
Has he played a snap in game this preseason?
Stafford? No, not that I know of.
Because he's still dealing with that tendonitis, right? And he also skipped his appointment with Dr. Stevens to get it looked at, the guy that fixed his shoulder. If that ends up being Tommy John surgery, I don't have the Rams winning. I got San Francisco. But if he doesn't get surgery and he's able to go, it'll be the Rams. Gun Guy says San Francisco. John Robinson says 49ers. Devin, who do you got? Oh, wait, you said, right, Rams?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say Rams.
Okay, AFC West, you got the Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders. Lionor of Douchebagia says the Rams never play their starting QBs in preseason. Did last year.
He's got a bum arm. They're sitting his ass there for a reason. Try to let that shit rest as much as possible.
Yep.
And Charles McLean says Chargers or Raiders. Mike, you start us off. AFC West.
I got Chargers.
DC?
Chargers.
Richard?
Chargers.
Dan?
Raiders.
Devin?
Chargers, but you really can't count Mahomes out. So, Chargers.
Yeah. If they play as good as they look on paper, it's the Chargers hands down.
Yeah.
They got the better defense. They've got a good quarterback that puts up similar to Mahomes numbers. Gun Guy says Broncos. They got issues. That's all I got to say. And Robinson says
Jets joke was funny.
It was. That was great. John Robinson says Debo is happy and Lance could ball out. You know why they haven't traded Jimmy G though yet? Is they're going to wait about 6 weeks to see how Lance is doing. And if they got a losing record, I can almost guarantee you Jimmy G will be back starting for 49ers. If he's doing well, then they'll trade him.
Jimmy G is still there because Shanahan didn't fucking want Trey Lance.
Right.
Yeah. And
Adams is going all pro.
If you're still relying on Jimmy G, and you can't name him the starter yet, what's that say about Lance?
I know. I get it.
That he needs to develop.
Which is what they said on his scout. If you read his scouting profile, it says has a big arm, has accuracy and decision-making issues. Needs a year or two to develop. I was saying 2.
Two to be
with
safe.
the good quarterbacks, coach, that they don't have.
Leonard, who do you got? You already did it. We all did it, right?
Yeah.
So now we're to the AFC North. I'm going to start with Richard Head. Who you got winning that division?
Bengals.
DC?
I'm drinking the Natty Bill that Crabtree will appreciate. And if I'm outside, and if I say any other team but the Ravens, I will get shot.
DC is our Baltimore resident Lions fans. Ravens or Browns.
Baltimore, yeah.
Did you not see that Watson is out for 11 games? They have no shot with Jacony Brisett or Josh Rosen.
No, none.
Actually, you know what? That might not be wrong because they have a good defense and they have the best running back tandem in the league.
Well, yardage-wise, the best tandem was, unfortunately, that team up in Green Bay.
But without a good quarterback.
Neither one of them in freaking Green Bay are as good as Nick Chubb.
Okay, Crabtree, who you got winning the North?
You should already know the Baltimore fucking Ravens.
Damn right.
You just said the
Grab
Steelers. I heard it.
Brian Roy agrees and says, Baltimore, yes, but I think Jimmy G winds up in Cleveland. No, he has a no-trade clause, and he turned them down.
I don't know why he would turn them down. It's his best chance to go win, honestly.
He doesn't want to be in a cold weather team, outdoors.
I mean, if I was Jimmy G, I wouldn't be in a rush to go anywhere either. I'm making starter money just riding the pine.
Yep.
He makes top-end starter money at that.
Right. He's
making bank, and he just has to carry the clipboard.
God, I mean,
Crazy Ken says Ravens. Dan, who you got winning the division? AFC North.
Cincinnati. All fucking day.
Devin?
They were in the Super Bowl, man. You can't take anybody else.
Cincinnati for Devin, too. I have it as a toss-up. I gave them the same win-loss record because both teams have one of the nastier defenses in the division. It's going to be either the Ravens or Bengals. I can't make up my mind.
It'll be the Ravens. Don't worry.
I have a question for everybody, though, before we move on. I have a question.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's elite and nice and all.
Can we all agree?
Beat the Ravens twice.
Okay. Let's let Richard ask his question.
Can we all agree that the Steelers are the worst team in the AFC North?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, right now,
I got to go with the Browns right now.
it's a toss-up between the Browns and the Steelers because the Browns had the better O-line, better running back, and the third or fourth best defense.
Browns based on Watson.
Right. If you base it off of Watson, if Watson was playing all season, I would have them up towards the top.
But this thing about all the money that's wasted now by the Browns on Watson.
Yeah.
That's big time. It's like almost. There's like a 5-game
But
gap.
the Steelers have a scary defense, too, which is going to win them a few games. I see them with an 8 or 9 win record.
But the quarterbacks are terrible.
Charles McLeod says, I think Bengals fall back to reality and teams will figure out Taylor's offense.
Yep.
And Brian Roy says, yes. So I'm saying either Ravens or Bengals because I can't pick who's going to win. I think they might end up tying, coming down to a coin flip.
Could very well happen.
And Brian Roy said on Pitt. He agrees with my assessment of that team. That is the only reason why I would not start that rookie. Is that O-line is so horrible. They can't block to save their lives. It's a sieve. Did you not see them? Oh, my goodness. It was almost as bad as watching the Bears first string.
They're going to get slaughtered against the Browns and Ravens and even Bengals for that matter.
All three teams got good front sevens. That's all I got to say. All three of those teams got good front sevens. But Eli Apple is burnt toast and still there in Cincinnati, so that's why I say their secondary sus.
Baltimore improved their secondary game. Mark Williams from the Saints.
Now we're to our favorite, the NFC North. I'm going to start with Richard Head. Who you got winning the division?
Until it's otherwise, I got to go with the Pack.
F the Packers.
I didn't like them. I don't like the Packers, but at the same time, like, I kind of want to say Minnesota, but it's like, you know, Cousins always seems to choke when he doesn't need to. And I can't say Detroit's there yet, so I kind of have to go with the Packers.
All right, DC.
Fuck it, I got the Lions. Won't be pretty, but I got the Lions.
Woo!
Gosh.
Somebody drinking the Kool-Aid. I like it. Crabtree.
I got the Lions.
Oh my God.
I like this guy. I like this guy. Yeah. We agree on NFC North.
Leonard.
I want them both to take drug tests.
Yeah, please.
I have one coming up. That might be the problem. I'm so.
I rep for my dad for the Lions.
I'm taking those shitbag Packers.
All right. Devin?
Grudgingly at that.
Okay. If everything in a perfect world goes right, it would be our Lions, but I have to say Packers too.
So we all agree on the Bears, right?
Bears and Seahawks are fighting for the number 1 pick.
Who gets Stroud? Who gets Young?
Yep. And the Bears are praying they get the number 1 pick because I don't think they want another Ohio State quarterback.
Why? The last one worked out so well.
If the Bears get number 1, they should either trade back or take Will Anderson. Don't take a quarterback. No.
Gun Guy says, F the Packers. And I'm going to give you why I don't think the Vikings will be up there this year as high. I don't think they're going to get second. I think they're getting third in the division. Yep. Anytime you have a complete defensive scheme where you switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4 and you only change one player on the defense, you struggle to adjust to that scheme for 4 to 6 weeks.
That's a better sign.
Regardless of the talent on the team. They're starting out with the roughest part of their schedule.
They lost to a 3-win team and almost lost a second time.
Hey,
what does that tell you?
We don't mention that game. We don't mention that goddamn game.
Sorry about
the
that.
Vikings game? Yeah. I mean, hey, a winless team beat the Vikings. I told you not to make that bet. I told you needed to change it. Did I not?
And that's why I say they can't. I don't think they can win the clutch games. I mean, Cousins doesn't do that. You look at the talent on that team; they got good talent. It's just Cousins.
Didn't he have 1 win in the postseason with Washington the year he got there, and not a single win anytime he's gotten there after? He's got 2 wins in primetime games, both of them with Washington and not at Minnesota.
Yep.
Yeah.
With arguably the best wide receiver core in the division.
Yeah. Not to mention probably one of the better defenses, too. It's not the best.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Packers got the best defense in the North. I think Vikings are second. Lions are third right now until they get better, and then you got the Bears. Actually, Charles McClain, he does not have a winning record over the last 5 seasons. It's 4-5-1. Just under 500. Guess what team has a 500 record over the last 5 seasons?
Us.
The Lions.
Yep.
You know who has the worst record against the Packers and the reason why they win the division every year? The Bears. 1-9.
Thanks,
I still can't believe Rodgers sat there and was yelling at the fans, I own you.
That was great. I'm sorry. Kudos to him for trash talking the fans. That was great.
That was hilarious.
I thought Baltimore was bad shit.
All right.
Stock if you would have bought a whole bunch, but he really could have said, I do own you, bitch.
Who's got the best running back in the NFC North? Well, if he was healthy, you would have to say it's Dalvin Cook, but he's not. So then it goes to the Packers with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Then you got to say, and then it's the Lions room. And then it's Vikings until Dalvin Cook comes back. And then it switches. And then you got the Bears.
Is that the running back, single running back, or a running back team?
Running back team, you got to give it to the Packers. Single running back to the Vikings.
Yeah, that's what I said. But Madison is adequate, but he's no Dalvin Cook. Until Dalvin Cook's on the field, they're third place in the running back room for starter.
Oh, didn't we? How do we finish ranked running game against the division? I knew we did a hellacious job overall.
Hang on, Cook is healthy right now.
Ooh, who's got all the background chatter.
Is it you?
It sounds like a bunch of clicking.
Sorry about that. I was in the store. I saw blood.
Yep, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah, but Jeremy, didn't we have like an insane running game last year?
We had a good running game. It was 110 yards per game. The Bears were right there with us. I think they edged us out by 0.1. Then it was the Vikings above that, and then it was the Packers. We were last, but it wasn't but by like a tenth of a yard per game. So we're right there.
Yep.
And with a healthy O-line, which we didn't have last year after the first preseason game, I expect bigger things from the running back room. I'm not saying Swift's going to get 1,000 yards. I'm not saying Jamal Williams will get 1,000 yards rushing. I think they're going to be sitting both of them somewhere between 500 and 700 yards rushing, and then Swift will add in his 500 to 800 yards receiving.
Swift tries saying he wants 1,000 and 1,000.
If he does that, he'll be like Christian McCaffrey and broken.
We also have the best offensive line, provided Green Bay actually gets called for holding once.
I still say Aaron Rodgers, with what Big Dan Davis said earlier about when Danica asked him to do doggy style and he bent over, he needs to come out of the closet, marry Clete Blakeman, so Clete Blakeman cannot call Packer games, because then it's a conflict of interest in the NFL.
Exactly. Clete Blakeman probably asking for autographs before games.
Joseph Host, nice of you to pop in. It says Lions could be a playoff team if there's no major injuries. Yeah, we're still suspect at middle linebacker. We're still suspect at safety. I've seen some good and bad play out of both positions. Rodrigo's a beast. The more I watch the Hard Knocks and watch how he's working out and what he's doing in games, because that you get to see more of it focused, it's awesome.
I would say, to add to that, I would say they could be a playoff team, but they got to be able to go out and beat teams like Philly.
Thank you, Lion King. Lion King says you're the most knowledgeable YouTuber on the web. Thank you.
You are, though.
And Brian Roy says Swift has to prove he can stay healthy and gain considerable yards rushing and receiving. Does it? Yes.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
is his prove-it year. This is the last year of his rookie contract. If he wants a bag from anybody, he has to stay healthy. And I still say it shouldn't be the Lions.
And he needs to start running up the damn middle.
Yep. Listen to Deuce Staley. If he would have ran up the middle. Why is Bozeman and Nelson still on the roster? I believe they were medical exemptions, so they just have a dead cap hit on the roster that lingers behind that leaves at the end of the season. Oh, wait, you're talking about Matt Nelson. Well, they didn't have to get rid of anybody because we got 3 guys on the PUP and Jamison Williams on the NFI reserve list, so they don't count against the roster because they're in that injured reserve stuff. So that being said, we only had to cut one guy, and they cut the right guy, Sean Dion Hamilton, because that defense, when they did the player called offense and defense, Sean Dion Hamilton was the one calling the defense, and he was absolutely abysmal. The offense torched us horribly.
Yep.
So he was the right cut at the time. I don't think Bozeman and Nelson make it in the long run.
Maybe they're
Drew Forsyth, another Lions podcaster, comes in and says, "Hey, Jeremy, thank you, Drew, for dropping in. I'm doing my Lions Man Cave chat where you see most of the Lions fans here will probably be a part of it. If you want to be a part, Drew, send me a message on Facebook. I'll send you the link. It's at 8 p.m. on Friday. That's where we're going to be discussing more of the hard knocks and everything else.
Friday.
Yes, it would be your first.
Wait, can I join the Lions thing?
Yep. I love the Lion King's comment, and Mike was bringing it up. I actually, because he knows a couple of writers, I sent him one of my editorials and he read it, and it was the one about the kick that never should have happened, talking about the Baltimore Ravens game. And I went into detail on the end of the game. And he goes, as far as details, you were 2,000 out of 100. And he's a Ravens fan.
You wrote that perfectly, to be honest with you. I felt like I read it out of a sports magazine, to be honest. You wrote in different detail.
Thank you.
I felt like I was at the game, to be honest with you. I felt like I relived that moment.
That being said, does anybody on the panel want to ask a question for an opinion on their team? Because like I said, I do study rosters. I do look at it overall. I try to be that way. That's why I do these NFL chats, because it's more fun to talk with fans of other teams because you get a good view of that team that you're talking to. And if they're an opponent, that's a great thing, correct?
I got one question. This question go to any of y'all.
Okay.
The Ravens versus Patriots. Do you think that game will be a shootout or one-sided?
Unless Mac Jones learns how to throw 30 yards at a time or more, it's going to be one-sided. Ravens win.
Do they start Bailey Zappi? Because if they start Zappi, I'm taking the Patriots.
So far, they're not starting him. It's still Mac Jones as a starter.
I still stick with my statement.
Right. I get it, because Bailey Zappi has got a cannon for an arm, and he's accurate.
And they got Tyquan Thornton, who is fucking fast. Holy shit, is that kid fast?
Yes, he is.
I'll say the Ravens take them.
I do too. DC, what do you think?
Oh, I totally agree. I think the Ravens got it. But then again, never bet against Belichick. It's going to be a hell of a game.
It does not matter. I'm still taking the Ravens.
He is going to trust whichever one is healthy and can catch the ball. And right now it looks like Romeo Dobbs and Anthony Lazard, or is it Anthony or whatever, Adam Lazard, whatever his name is? Alan Lazard. That looks like his two most trusted subjects, because everybody else can't seem to route run or catch the ball, is what he's saying, and he called them all out on that video.
Yep.
And even Colin Cowherd said that was kind of a bitch move.
I don't have a problem at all with what he did, because I'm at the same time, you're Aaron Rodgers, probably one of the best quarterbacks of the game talent-wise.
I hear you.
You got young wide receivers. You need to pretty much make a statement. I know.
But it wasn't the young wide receivers that was the biggest issue. It was actually Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb that were having trouble running routes properly and catching the ball.
Yep. Hey, there's another receiver that Baltimore gave Lamar Jackson. They gave him Sammy Watkins last year. Look at what happened.
Yep. Lion King Smoke, your week 1 pick for Detroit versus Eagles. I'll tell you what, in my heart of hearts, I know what I want more than anything. I want revenge. I want to see the Lions win by double digits. That being said, do I expect it? No, I expect a shootout, and it's going to come down to who can contain who the most. Devin, what do you think about Ravens versus Patriots?
I'm still taking the Ravens because Lamar Jackson is. I'm taking the Ravens. That's what Lamar Jackson says, too dangerous.
Dan already answered. We've all answered that. What are your guys' week 1 predictions versus the Eagles, since it was asked by a commenter? I'll start with you, Devin. Lions versus Eagles. Who do you got winning?
Eagles.
All right. He didn't hesitate. Dan?
Eagles.
All right, Richard?
You know what? Get me the Kool-Aid and some cornbread. I'm picking the Lions.
Yes! Kool-Aid and cornbread. DC?
Sounds good,
I'm with you, Jeremy. It's going to be a bloodbath, but we got it.
Crabtree? Oh, he's got it muted. So we'll come back to him in a minute. Now I want to give you why I think they can win. The Eagles have traditionally a slow start. Last year, few games before they played us, they were averaging less than 14 points per game. They had one game where they started to shoot out, but the other team blew them out too. Remember, because they were 1-4 when we played them?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we all thought, even me, drank the Kool-Aid and said, this is the game the Lions can win.
And then they drop 40 on you.
My reasoning for the Lions beating the Eagles, I think they just match up pretty decently with them. I mean, Lions' offensive line is one of their strengths. I mean, okay, the Eagles got a good defensive line, but our interior, our guard and center combo should be able to handle their own against Cox and Jordan Davis.
Gotcha.
I don't think anybody's going to handle Jordan Davis.
If anybody can, it'll be Frank Ragnow.
And they did get Hassan ready, too, so you can't freaking dedicate 2 or 3 guys to him.
And Charles McLean says, but I know as a coach watching the playoff game last year, Rodgers had 2 wide receivers wide open. Rodgers didn't look their way. And calling out his wide receivers won't be good. They might drop the ball on purpose. And then he comes back and says, Lions 24, Eagles 27 in overtime. You know what? That would be a moral victory to me if they kept it that close.
Like I said, it'll be a bloodbath. But I'll say
And Brian Roy says, hopefully Lions. I mean, look at the way that Campbell's fired up this team. Just watching the Hard Knocks is giving me chills watching him fire this team up.
Yep. I also think we can contain Hurts, particularly with our cornerbacks. Particularly if that kid Smith hits him like he did that receiver from Indy. If he makes it there. And hey,
that's one play, and that's if he makes the active roster. Don't forget we got Jerry Jacobs coming back this coming week.
He is.
We also have a better defensive line.
Yep.
Oh, their D-line and our D-line.
No, I mean, like, we have a better defensive line than last year.
Yep.
Our defensive line is improved.
No, I don't know what it is. Inform me there, Charles McLean. What's the record between the Lions and Bills on Thanksgiving? It's probably not good. That's just a guess.
When did we play the Bills on Thanksgiving?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, but I think Akuda will have a big game against the Eagles because say what you want against Akuda, you don't run on him.
No, he sets the edge. Oh, look at this. The Lions are 2-0.
Sweet. Huh. Yeah. Hurts isn't going to be able to get those go along the ends. I mean, you got Hutch,
the defense did walk out on that Philly game. But you got to remember, that was right after they cut Jamie Collins. That was Derek Barnes' first start.
Yep. There was a lot of
the defense had Romeo Okwara out. Charles Harris hadn't quite come into his own yet.
We were missing a shitload of players.
And we were missing Okuda and Iffy. It was a bad time. Half the secondary was injured. Absolutely.
That's why that game out.
That's when they first started experimenting with switching out Will Harris and Dean Marlowe, and neither one of them could cover anybody with a blanket.
Yep. Yeah, we were way too hurt on that game.
And yes, Lynn was still calling plays at the Eagles game. That was the biggest thing. Some of the stupidest play calling I ever saw. Calling a draw play on 3rd and 19.
He got that from Mike McCarthy.
He must have. And it wasn't a QB draw. It was a running back draw, no less, which was telegraphed horribly.
It works as you have Tim Boyle as a quarterback, but, you know.
Yeah.
Tim Boyle handed off to DeAndre Swift. I mean, you got to take DeAndre Swift running for 19 yards. I'll take Tim Boyle throwing a glorified punt.
Lion King, Detroit versus Eagles, biggest game since Detroit versus Dallas playoff game. This game is huge. We lose, we might spiral out of control. We win, we will be unstoppable. I think if it's kept close, it doesn't matter what the score ends up being because of how bad we were beat last year.
Agreed.
When I picked the Niners, I forgot he is in that staff as offensive assistant. Yeah, he was hired as an offensive assistant. The next day, their offensive coordinator was hired by the Dolphins as head coach. You know what that means? If you were the offensive assistant and the coordinator goes away, what are you then?
Capacity, because Kyle Shanahan's going to call all the plays.
Right. He's just going to be an OC by title and a clipboard holder, just like the guy that's going to be calling the plays in Minnesota.
Yep.
All right. It's been a great show. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank all of my guests. We had Devin Smith of the Panthers, Dan Leonard of the Giants, Mike Crabtree of the Ravens, DC 80901 of the Lions, and Richard Head of the Lions. You guys were great. Thank you for coming in and dropping your knowledge. It was great talking to y'all. Y'all have a blessed evening. And just remember, whenever you wake up, try to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts from within. Have a great night, and thank you for watching Kneecap Biting with Smokin' Jeremy B.